it in more retail locations. So I have a little form on my website where you can tell me if you have a local place where you want De La Tanks to be. You can fill out the form and I will reach out to them and see if we can get something going. But anyway, in the meantime, you can also purchase it online through the Tanks Green Stuff website or Amazon. It's a really great soil. I love it. Like, I know that I created the product, so obviously I'm really proud of it. But aside from all that, it's just a really great growing medium, especially for propagating Hoya and things like that, and just growing them in general. It's nice and airy for them. We have my Hoya obovata, and I've had this plant since I think March 2019. And yeah, it's been really happy lately. I was gonna say it's been really happy, but actually not in the last couple of years, but lately it has definitely been having a moment because I decided to put it in the plant room because I was trying to like consolidate my collection a couple months ago. And I realized that I had it in my kitchen window and it was just really unhappy and not really growing for multiple years. And rather than me keeping it there where it kind of was just dormant, I have learned that Hoya can kind of go dormant if they're not getting what they need. So they're not necessarily going to die, but they're just not going to do anything, which is exactly where this plant was for many years. And ever since I moved it into the plant room where we have a full wall of south windows, and it is also a little bit warmer and more humid in this room comparatively because we don't have central AC in this room. I don't know, I think the conditions have just been a lot better for it. We have a lot of new growth spikes coming in, which is just really exciting. And I just can't wait to see what it will look like as it continues to grow and branch and just do so much more. I am hopeful that one day it will bloom. It actually has put out peduncles before, but it didn't end up flowering. So if I could get a bloom out of this, I would feel like I really hit the jackpot. But yeah, the leaves are just getting so much bigger and more beautiful. And I feel really proud that I made a decision to change her life or to change things in her environment. And she has thanked me heavily. This pot is very heavy with all of the plant matter. On that same trip, I also picked up this Hoya pubic calyx, which is similar to the obovata. It was in the same area. So we lost, I think, like 6 branches of this plant. It had a lot of pieces, like a lot of stems in the pot. And I counted last time I filmed, I think it was like 6 that I lost. So that kind of stinks. It would have been a lot fuller, but even just moving it into the plant room, like on my wicker shelf over here, it's like 10 feet from the window, but it still made such a difference for the plant. Like, it is so happy. And I actually do have this on the wall now. I have it in a lipped pot and it just does really well trailing. A lot of my Hoya are trailers at this point because I just like the way that that looks. I have space for them on the wall for them to be trailer plants. But if in the future I have more opportunities to have like upright plants, I would definitely consider trellising more of them. I do have one Hoya that is trellised and it is gorgeous. So I will definitely be showing you that a little bit later. But yeah, the pubic calyx is honestly really similar care to the Carnosa varieties. It's very simple. This is like a pothos in the world of Hoya. You know, it's just really easy to care for and beautiful and striking, and it just does what you want it to do. And yeah, I don't know. It's not exactly a showstopper, but it is really a beautiful green spot in your home. And she's a reliable grower for sure. The leaves are nice and long and they have a little bit of splish splash too. And I really appreciate that. Oh, the last Hoya that I got from that trip and the last of my like original Hoya collection is this Hoya compacta. And as you can see, it's really big. I'm getting all wet because there's a lot of water in these leaves. But anyway, yeah, this one is really one of my favorite plants in my entire collection. It is definitely my most prized plant, or I'd say like top 5 for sure, if not top 3, because I've had it for so long. It was a plant that I wanted really badly, and when I saw it, I was so excited. And it's crazy to think of how small it was when we started off. Like, it was really just barely popping out of a 6-inch pot, and here we are. It's in an 8-inch pot, and it goes and goes and goes, and it has bloomed many times which is just the most wonderful treat. It's just the best thank you that a plant can give you. So Carnosa blooms are typically like pink, and they smell, to me, I think they smell like Tootsie Rolls. But for a while, she wasn't really doing much. She was kind of stagnant, even though she was in this room. So it makes me think there was a pest situation. But when I treated for thrips in September, I think that knocked out the pest situation for like all of my plants. A lot of Hoya will suffer from something called flat mites. I'm gonna put this down because this is really heavy, but it's just one of those invisible pests, and they're really such a big nuisance, and you don't really know that you have them unless you can identify the damage that they cause, which is typically like knobby growth, like the leaves, like the plant will keep trying to put out leaves, but it can't because obviously the pest is there, so the leaf will fall off, and then you have this just like knob that would have been the leaf. But anyway, long story short, I do believe that my thrips treatment that I did got rid of all of that, and I saw a lot of new growth like on my entire collection after that. So it was a nice reset for everything. And if you're wondering what I used Captain Jack's Dead Bug Brew. Definitely be careful when you're using something that serious. I did it outside and tried to wear gloves when I remembered. Now here's where things are probably gonna get out of order, but I don't think it really matters all that much. I really just like to establish that those were my first Hoya. Next up, I want to talk about my Hoya Callistophylla. This is one of those Hoyas that has done little to nothing for me. So it's put out 2 leaves since I've had it. When I got it in like 2019, I believe, so it's been 5 years and 2 leaves. I think that it's been struggling with flat mites more recently. Prior to that, I think that I just didn't have it in enough light. So, you know, she's been struggling. And I think I actually am gonna bring this out to the greenhouse because it'll get plenty of light out there, and I can do some pest management and see, I don't know, if something changes. But either way, it's not a plant that I would ever let go of because I just love it so much, and I think it's so beautiful, even though it really doesn't do much. But the 2 new leaves that I have gotten from it are this one right here and this one right here. So they're very, very long and beautiful. And this one, I guess, has popped out recently because it's darker green than the rest of them and a lot more glossy. So it has to be newer, but I did not see it coming in. It has been trying to put out growth at the top here. And as I said, I put these outside to get them some water, and it still had the leaf. And I was really hoping that all the humidity and all of that, maybe some natural predators would come along, but the leaf ended up falling off. So anyway, I'm gonna do a Captain Jack's Dead Bug Brew treatment on this just to see if that helps. But I will say, on the positive side of this plant, it has bloomed for me so many times, like so many times. So many times that I actually have considered just cutting off the peduncles so that it could focus on putting out foliage, because that is really, I mean, of course you want the blooms, but with this type of plant, like with how beautiful these leaves are with the veining, I was really after the foliage more than anything. And the flowers are pretty, but it's not like a showstopper by any means. So I don't know. It hasn't flowered in a little bit, so I hope that it doesn't start working on one of those, and instead after the pest treatment, it can start working on some new leaves. It's definitely trying, but just has not been very successful yet. Okay, the first Hoya that I do not know the name of, I think it starts with a B, so I'll put it on the screen. But yeah, this Hoya is kind of similar to the Varieties in my mind, like how I categorize it. It's just an easy Hoya that I do not think about. And as you can see, it trails really nicely. It's very, very full. I got this when I was in Nashville from a nursery there. And when I visited Nashville, I saw some of my favorite places. Like, it was such a beautiful place to go plant shopping. So if you're in the area, you should definitely take advantage of that. It's kind of like a take it or leave it Hoya though. Like the Varieties, I would not leave, but this one I'm like, if I lost it or if I gave it away, I wouldn't really be that upset. But all in all, it's pretty and it's a great grower. And again, just another green spot in my plant room. What is this one called? Next up, we have another veiny plant. This is the Hoya caudata. And this is one that I'm growing as a trailing plant, but I really am considering putting it on a trellis just because I feel like it would like that more. As you can see, it is just kind of wrapping itself around itself and kind of looking for something to climb. I just need to get the bamboo. I'm gonna do like a U trellis. So I just need to find one. And I was really excited though, because it fits in this pot perfectly and it was really pretty on the wall. But I do think that it would thrive more with a trellis. But anyway, I got this one from Land of Alice, the online plant shop, and I've always had really great luck buying from them. It's a great spot. They have really beautiful Hoyas. I originally put it in like a 6-inch pot because it arrived to me in a 6-inch pot, and I thought, okay, well, we'll just maintain that. And then when Adam and Nicole came out to visit me, they were like, I think your Hoyas are in too big of pots. Maybe you should downsize them. And at first I really didn't listen. I was not